Welcome, welcome, all you lovely people, back to We Have No Cares. It's a return to a weird assessment of a weird match.
It's back to winning ways.
Yeah, I'm feeling very, very comfortable about the way we won.
Yeah!
I'm Nicole Hay.
I am Robert Borthwick.
And I'm Fridgey.
Fridgey's back!
Fridgey's back.
Fridgey's back!
The return of the fridge.
Let joy be unconfined. Yes, today, Heart of Midlothian were the victors 4-1 over Queen of the South in the most romantically named fixture in Scottish.
Don't you dare mumble that. It is.
It is
true.
Not
It
even
is true.
not even Scottish football, just football.
Well, you tell me it's more romantic than Inverness Caledonian Thistle versus Livingston.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. That's accurate.
I'm saying that. I'm not ashamed.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, like I say, weird match. Now, we'll get into the nitty gritty as we go on, but I think as a general overview, I would say Queen of the South are the best team we've played in this division over 2 games, and somehow we've beaten them 7-1 in aggregate.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think their performance at Tynecastle today was a bit better than their one at Palmerston, to be honest. I mean, Palmerston, they threatened for, 10, 15 minutes, and then we scored. They didn't really have much else other than that. Today is a different story. They were very, very disciplined. They were good on the attack, on the counter-attack especially. If they're the best team we've played this year, I'm not entirely sure myself. I still think Hibs have been a better team.
Better team or a better performance?
I think better team, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a point of view. I think the reason I'm saying better team, though, Fridgey, is that they do sort of play football. I think the best way to put it is I think it would be quite fun being a Queen of the South fan. I think I would actually enjoy going to watch that week in, week out.
Well, yeah, they're you saw from the fans, they had great fun today. They came in full voice. There was a lot of them. They obviously enjoy watching their team. And as you say, they're a good team to watch. They're a joy to watch. They play football. They were very reluctant to hoof the ball away from the defence. Even one particular spell where they were really, really under a lot of pressure, Hearts defending right from the front, and they tried their hardest to pass the ball out. Didn't work. They eventually hoofed it out, but you'd see they tried to play football, and we don't see an awful lot of that from teams coming to Tynecastle.
Your friend and mine, Mr. Andrew Bowie, who sits next to me, pointed out that it was like watching one of those games where Arsenal plays Barcelona, where like the team tries to play the same game as the good team and eventually gets found out because they're just generally not as good.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see a team try and pass against us, not only because it's much better than watching Rangers players try and kick us black and blue,
Or Celtic players, for that matter.
well, quite. But also the fact that it also left them quite exposed when we counter-attacked.
Yeah.
But it wasn't all plain sailing. It was quite a weird game. But let's take you on the journey. Opening exchanges quite even, I thought. Hearts, of course, today were missing several players, not least of all Morgaro Gomez, suspended, who will be suspended again next week. But we did welcome back Danny Wilson, and
Good.
we were all
He was welcome.
delighted by that.
Wonderful.
Though it did mean that Brad Mackay had to sit on the bench for the whole game.
Do you know why this is?
Every silver lining has a cloud.
Do you know why this is?
Is it because Danny Wilson is better than Brad Mackay? Is that why it is?
You could say that, but I think it's more to do with the fact that Brad shaved his beard.
He did what?
Have you not seen this?
What?
This is news to me.
A social media revelation. Brad Mackay shaved his beard. They shaved in the moustache for the last day of November, and then he shaved the fucker off.
Oh, that's a rookie mistake. I mean, I know he's a young player, but no wonder Robbie's lost all confidence in him.
He's like Samson. His strength is in his hair.
Exactly.
But like on the other side of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it's...
Oh, I mean, you're kind of hoping for some of the senior players to take him aside and go, look, Brad, you've
dropped the ball.
Yeah,
here.
this isn't the way to behave. This isn't the way a professional handles his business.
After I saw that, I'm actually quite happy he got dropped. To be honest with you, he deserved it. It's You can't go shaving in this game.
I'm this close to drumming him out of our club. He's killing this club every day.
You can't
wait. Let's not be too harsh. There is time. He can rectify this mistake. If he stops shaving...
He's young, but, he needs to stop shaving.
He can cut that shaving out of his game. Young players will make mistakes, and as they get older, they develop, and he will learn not to shave anymore.
I fucking hope so.
Yeah, it's
a mistake from Ali Moss to it. He's got his beard.
Exactly, and he keeps it. He nurtures it.
I think that's a lot of work in training.
What we're saying is, Brad, we're not angry, we're disappointed.
Exactly, we are very disappointed in you.
So yes, the other...
what a tangent!
The other aspects of the team that were sort of the most important is that we were obviously very much struggling for forwards today. Again, no Osman, so El Hasnoui only fit enough for the bench. So we started up front, intriguingly, with James Keatings and...
James Keatings.
I believe it's pronounced James, but I'll put a pin on that and we'll check that later. And Robbie Buchanan.
Yes.
Who I actually felt was very, very effective through the middle. I thought he linked up quite well, but there was a period about 15 minutes or so into the game where we made the decision to move him out to the left wing and put Walker through the middle.
Yeah, I didn't wholly understand that because our best chance before the first goal was Patterson rampaging as he does down the right hand side, finding Buchanan sort of running into the channel and playing a nifty little 1-2. Patterson getting it back and flashing a shot just wide of the post. And I thought that looked like quite a nice little interchange there because King made himself available out wide, which gave Patterson the opportunity to come through the middle, finding Buchanan little 1-2. But I felt that after he got put on the wing, he looked a little bit lost, Buchanan. He was getting double marked. He wasn't getting any time on the ball. He wasn't really getting given the ball because he was getting so heavily marked. I'm beginning to wonder if Queen of the South thought he was Sam Nicholson. They've not really done their sort of they can't read.
That's very true. I mean, there's a very clear clue across his shoulders that he's not Sam Nicholson. But they just see young blonde Hearts player on the wing.
Yeah.
I've got your number. It may be the wrong number, but it's a number, and I've got it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seemed like the only person that really suited that change was Billy King, who was that kind of quiet, cagey performance that we come to know in the last few weeks. But when he was moved from the left where he initially started and then moved to the right, he seemed to come alive and he seemed to do a lot more down the right, but it seemed to completely stymie Buchanan, and Walker, I don't think he was quite as lively through the middle.
No, I think Jamie Walker's he's been playing very differently the past few weeks. I think it's perhaps he's trying to bring another element to his game, or a few more elements, trying to develop as a player. We're all used to seeing Jamie Walker just bombing down the wing, just skipping past people and firing in crosses or cutting inside and taking shots. But he seems to be trying, maybe it's an instruction that he's been given off the management to develop as a player, to bring more into his game, and he's tracking back a lot more, going in the middle a lot more, trying new things, and it's maybe not working at the moment, but it's maybe something to look forward to, something that can develop in time, and he can become a much more complex player.
It's a fair point. It might well be that this is a long game that Hearts are playing, but at the moment it is difficult to understand when Walker seems so much more at home, so much more effective on the left, and King on the right, and Buchanan through the middle. That after 15 minutes, Robbie went, "Lol, no."
Yeah, we should change this. Yeah, no, it was a strange one. I didn't quite understand it, but it's one of those things. The main focal point of the attack was always Keatings. It was always going to be Keatings, and he being the ever present of the sort of centre forward role. I don't think he made the right decision by putting Buchanan at wide, to be honest with you. That's my appraisal. Because
that was the interesting thing from the early stages. I think we've mentioned it a lot of times in this podcast. Like James Keatings is a very, very good player, but he's very, very good at being James Keatings. And what he is one of the most instinctive finishers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like John Robertson level, and I don't use that lightly. He is an incredibly instinctive finisher, but he can't create for himself. He needs somebody either next to him, drawing defenders' attention, or wide players drawing the focus of the runs to create space for him. But today, like in the initial stages, they had Buchanan next to him, and that seemed to work well. That was a nice partnership. But the chance came from a Queen of the South mistake.
The goal.
The goal. Yes.
The goal.
The goal. What a fucking goal it was too. It was sort of a kind of innocuous long ball from Danny Wilson. Basically at the corner of our own box, really. And I'm not sure of names. Queen of the South number.
They had a Dowie and a Durnan. Dowie and a Durnan.
I'm going to say it's Durnan because what a name.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he was caught in two minds possibly about sort of nodding it back to his own keeper or heading it out. He just headed it directly up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And Keating's good fucking Christ, James Keatings. He capitalised on that quite rampantly. I'm gonna use rampantly. What a fucking hit! Clean on the volley. It wasn't a sort of a thunderbolt. It was just a very clever, precise finish off his left foot and left the keeper with no chance. It was an unbelievable bit of technique.
From where we were sitting, it was almost like I could see Keating start to salivate as soon as he saw the ball hit the defender's head. He's like, "Ahaha, that's going up in a weird zone, and I can find it."
Yeah, he loves the weird zone.
He was going into the weird zone quite a lot in the early exchanges. You can see him. He's not big enough to compete for headers against big defenders.
He still does his best, though. To be fair, he doesn't really shy away from it.
No, he doesn't shy away from it, but he's smart. Like you say, he's instinctive, and he was gambling, going past the defender, just waiting for that mistake. And he did it a few times, and nothing happened the first few times. But then that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mistake from the Queen of the South defender, but the sharpness of the instinct to know where the ball's going to land and to take it first time like that, it just like I say, it's instinctive. He is a completely instinctive player from that side of his game, and it feels it's horrible to say, but I think he's been born too late, because in the way that football is now. Like 3-man midfields are the norm. There's not going to be many teams where we can play two up front.
Yeah.
And especially not next season when we cross fingers, knock on woods, rub your rabbit's foot. That's what you do to a rabbit's foot, right? You
I'm
don't.
allergic.
You're a deviant.
Yeah, rub it.
Rub it.
Rub it.
Rub the rabbit.
No,
we will be in the SPL next season where we'll find it even less opportunity to play two up front. Which becomes a real problem for a player like James Keatings. Unless we can find a role for him on the wing as a sort of combo forwards, we can't play him as the central striker because he can't create for himself.
Up top with Osman, so maybe two of them together. Osman as the target man.
That'd be great if we're playing a team where we can get away with a 2-man midfield.
If he plays behind the striker,
I think Keating's work rate,
the running man.
Yeah, Keating's work rate is such that he can play at that sort of the upper point of a midfield five, because his work rate is such that he can track back, but then he times his runs perfectly. His running actually is off the ball work is incredible.
So instinctive.
Yeah, and a lot of times this year we have played with one behind Osman Sow. Sufyan played in behind Osman Sow for a spell of games. I think we won 4 in the trot, against Livingston, all those teams like that. I think it could work. I don't think you'd have to necessarily say, right, James Keatings, I'm sorry, but to get in this team you have to play in the wing. I don't think that's the case at all. I think he can play behind the striker. I think we can make that work with the personnel that we have.
So we were 1-0 up, kind of out of the blue. I think Queen of the South had been pressing us quite hard, especially just before that goal, but that made us all delighted and giddy and happy that this was going to be another fairly routine home victory. And I think from that point, that's when we started to play like the Heart of Midlothian we know this season.
Yeah.
A lot more movement between the players going forward. There was a good opportunity for Jamie Walker, if you recall. Robert.
Yep.
The one where it was a break. It was Walker and King and Keatings, and then maybe Walker. Maybe accuse him of being a bit greedy.
Yes, I remember.
It was a very, very effective counter-attacking move. I think it was Uzturk won it, and Walker sort of took it in his stride. Marching forward, they had Keatings to his right, King to his left, and to be honest with you, the way that he fashioned it, I don't think he necessarily took the wrong choice. I just think it was a very good bit of defending, because either Durnan or Dewey or Durnan. Dewey. Yeah, Dewey. Yeah.
Dewey. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Dewey came back from 2006 and got behind his keeper, and he made a good block. There was nothing wrong with Walker's finish. He got through on goal, put it past the keeper. It was going in the back of the net, and it was very smart defending, I think, from the Queen of the South player. He could have played in Keatings, he could have played in King, but he fashioned a chance that meant it was last ditch defending, that really good last ditch.
It's the mark of a good team that he's got options to take.
Yeah,
and he took an option and it didn't work out. He could have taken another option and it could have failed.
Yeah,
it's no bad mark on him to take a decision.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, so shortly after that, we had a corner kick, which James Keating slighted in, but it didn't come to anything because one of those Queen of the South thugs chose to push over Callum Patterson.
Dewey Dornan.
It was Dewey Dornan, yeah.
Dewey Donnelly.
It was, yeah.
We're getting into the realms of like Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters here, but I'm glad this is the journey that we're taking.
Good.
However, the
Scooby, don't do this.
The important part is that
Christ.
Callum Patterson was lying on his face, like pleading to the referee, and the referee went, "Yes, that is a penalty."
Yeah.
And Prince Blabin stepped up.
Does anyone here remember Blabin's last penalty against Dumbarton?
I do remember that penalty.
The one when they absolutely shanned it down the middle, and the keeper just went flab, and it sort of bounced over him and went in somehow. That didn't fill me with a huge amount of confidence, and I actually said to my brother, I'm not feeling too good about this one. I never had any confidence in him for some reason. I don't know why.
He didn't look particularly confident. I think it's not harsh to say up until later when we made a tactical change, Blabin looked like he was suffering the other half of Morgaro Gomez's problems in the last 2 weeks, where he was without his wonder twin, and he really did look lost.
You're still going to keep hammering on this wonder twin stuff, yeah?
Well,
like
if they
it.
keep on providing evidence that it's absolutely 100% fucking true, then yes, I am.
Fair.
Blabin looked very, very lost throughout the game, and when he stepped up, he did not look confident at all. Now, for me, what he actually took there was quite a good penalty. He hit it with like a good power, and he hit it to the bottom corner of the goal. Now, obviously, it hit the post, but 6 inches to the right, it's an unsavable penalty.
Okay, any penalty that doesn't go in is a bad penalty then.
But it's not as bad a penalty as the one that he took that he scored.
No, but that's a goal, so that makes it a good goal. It makes it good. Any penalty that's missed is not a good penalty. Yeah, he struck it cleanly. Osman Sow struck his penalty cleanly at Celtic Park and went ballooning over the bar. That was as clean a strike as you'll ever see. And it went over the bar. It wasn't a good penalty because it didn't go in. I would have given it to Walker, who
was nearly
scored.
A good penalty. Can we say that about it?
Yeah,
because that's very Hibs. It was almost a goal.
Like, I'm not going to argue with you about Osman Sow wasn't a good penalty. He was leaning back. It was terrible.
Yeah, man. Well, Prince Blabin hit the post and missed, so his wasn't a good penalty either.
Okay, right. Well, we'll
he struck it sweetly. I'll give you that.
What we'll agree on is that he did not score that goal.
He absolutely did not score the penalty. Yeah, no.
And
can I meet you halfway and say
no?
It was okay. Well,
no, it's fine. Meet us halfway.
I would have let you, but Rob said no, so hands are tied. I'm afraid.
It's been vetoed.
Gonna have to move on.
After that,
so that will remain a mystery.
Queen of the South came much more into the game after that, and it was a very even contest for the remainder of the half. I thought Mark Kerr was very, very good in the centre of the midfield for Queen of the South, so obviously he was hauled off at half time.
Yeah, nice one, James Filler. Thanks, bro.
Did they have Ali McCoist as manager?
It was a really weird atmosphere as well. Like the Queen's fans were in good voice, as Fridgey was saying, and oddly seemed keen to point out that they hated Hearts, which was news to me.
Yeah, if you hate the fucking Jambos, clap your... What have we ever done to you, Queen of the South?
Well, just because we've got a more romantic name.
Yeah, you dicks.
A really weird bit of aggro happened when Miguel Pallardo... it was a fulsome challenge, but a fair one on the touchline, and then their I think it was their number 11, Ian Russell reacted by pushing the San Pallardo, the sainted, the wonderful Miguel Pallardo, yeah, and the referee reacted by giving him a yellow card for that horrible violent conduct. Yeah, but it's like everything rolled over. Their number 6 was remonstrating.
Was that Dowie?
Dewey.
Why not? Sure.
Yep, Dowie. Good. And also the linesman from the Wheatfield side just sprinted over to the centre circle and then stood there. he didn't do anything. He didn't really...
He was a sentinel.
I'm coming to the rescue. Oh no, it's fine.
I'm going to make sure that this circle is free of aggro. And he did a wonderful job.
What a job he did, yeah.
But yeah, like really odd sort of aggro. It didn't actually carry over at the second half at all, so probably not even worth mentioning. But at the time, it was weird.
It was bizarre. Yeah,
It all unfolded right in front of my eyes. There was in front of section N. I'd say the tackle from Pallardo was maybe a bit too meaty.
Where did it rank on the Kenny Miller scale? Like 60% of a Miller?
From 1 to Kenny Miller?
Yeah, from 1 to Kenny Miller.
Probably about 3.
So a Ken...
You can.
It was a Ken. Yeah, I didn't see much... to be fair, I was on the other side of the pitch. I didn't see much wrong with the tackle, but it also looked like Pallardo sort of bizarrely threw himself to the floor a little bit for very little of a reason. So I'm not sure what happened, but as is what happens when there's a little sort of kerfuffle with those sorts of things. Ali Mosturk was there just shoving folk. He doesn't even know what happens. He just likes pushing people. He fucking loves it.
But then eventually Adam Eckersley came over like an adult and went, right, everybody just settle down. This is...
settle down. Show base he'd like.
Look, just shut up and go home. And everybody did.
Yep.
And that was more or less the story of the first half.
'Twas.
And then after the first half, we had a second half.
We did.
And a marvellous break from tradition.
Yeah.
Not quite as good for the start of that second half. It was a little bit...
A little bit Queensy.
Yeah, quite a lot of the south edging its way into that play.
A lot of doonhammering. Yes.
How
many more things can we think of here?
It was a bit Dumfriesy.
It was a Dumfriesian tsunami.
It was Dumfriesian. Yeah. Not that they created... I mean, to be absolutely fair to Heart of Midlothian, which is, what I strive to do with every moment of my day.
That's the point of the podcast.
Yeah. I don't think they created loads of great chances, but they were in and about us, and they were niggly, and they were just there. They were there, weren't they, Fridgey?
They were definitely there. Most absolutely definitely there. I saw them with my own 2 eyes. They were there.
With all that Dumfriesian nonsense going on, Queen of the South did press forwards, and well, what did Jamie Walker do, Robert?
Well, before we discuss the scandalous penalty decision, Ian McShane had a shot from quite far out that Alexander punched to safety. That was sort of the first sign of intent that they had pretty much in that half, that I kind of followed a bit of a theme for a wee bit, to be honest with you. I think it sort of broke out and McShane had a very good shot, to be fair, from distance, and Alexander palmed it out. But to bring it on to the penalty decision, it was right, basically bang in line with where I sit. And I'm not doubting it was a foul, because it was, because again, it was actually McShane that got past him. McShane was dribbling into the box, and Walker tried to get his body between McShane and the ball. The ball had gone. He tripped McShane, but it was about 1.5 yards outside the box. So it was daft from Walker to put himself in that position in the first place, because he let McShane pass him far too easily. But it was never a penalty in a million years, and the referee was in a fairly good position, as well as the linesman looking directly across on the other side. It was never in the box in a million years. It was a quite terrible decision.
By the letter of the law, a penalty can be given if contact begins outside of the box and continues into it. But that did not happen in this case at all.
No.
Jamie Walker made contact and McShane sort of went, lol, way! And then landed just inside the box. And the referee went, looks like a penalty to me.
I'm going to give
To be
this.
fair to McShane,
Why?
he's a knob.
Oh.
That's not being fair.
Yeah,
That's
that sounds...
been exactly fair.
Is that the entire measure of fairness that you're prepared to give to McShane?
In my mind, yes.
Good.
I don't think he dived. He was fouled. It was outside the box. A good foot and a half
Yeah.
to give an exact sort of
Measurement?
wild
Just say measurement.
guesstimation.
An
Measurement. There
An
you go.
exact wild guesstimation.
Yes.
Could have said measurement
Cool.
first time.
Well, I didn't. So
Well,
get over it.
Okay, we're going to...
Dry your eyes.
Okay.
So yeah, he was fouled and he fell into the box.
So in summary, not a penalty.
No, not a penalty.
But still,
Definitely
but still, your man
Ian
Russell
Yeah.
put it on the spot and then kicked it into the net, and they were awarded a
That
goal.
was a good
Yeah.
penalty.
It was a good penalty.
That was a good penalty.
It was
That we can agree
technically
on.
good.
Yeah.
Technically and actually good. Process and result were both working hand in hand in a glorious tandem of Queen of the South glory. And from that point, they were right in the game, and
I was worried, to be honest with
I
you.
was nervous as tits.
Yes.
And tits be nervous, let me
Tits.
tell you.
Tits are nervous things.
Especially when I'm round.
Like I said, to me, like it seemed like they were attacking well. They were really controlling the midfield. Blaban looked all at sea.
Yeah.
We were crying out for an extra man in midfield, which we did eventually get. But it really felt like this might be a day where we would draw or even possibly lose, because it really was difficult to see where the next goal was coming from. But where did the next goal come from?
Hearts.
Uh,
Came from a corner, I do believe.
That's correct.
It came from Danny Wilson's face.
Some upper extremity of Danny Wilson made contact with that ball.
I'm genuinely not sure if it was his throat or his face. It hit something, and he had no idea that it happened until it went off the post and in.
I'm going to hazard a guess that it's not one off the training field. I don't think they practice putting in a weak corner that bounces somewhere aimlessly in the middle of the box and happens to ricochet up off of the captain's mind. But
For Danny Wilson to go,
for him to turn around and sort of go, why are you guys all so happy? Oh, the ball's in the net! Hooray!
huzzah! Goal for Danny. Yeah. He enjoyed it though. So,
Well, he
yeah.
enjoys scoring for Hearts, as any good human being would.
Indeed.
And just
indeed.
enjoys seeing Heart of Midlothian score goals,
Yep.
as any good human being would.
And a
Even
goal
if it did
was.
result in a bit of a sore nose for him.
Or sore throat. We still don't know what hit.
We're ear,
Chin.
Ear. Yeah.
eyebrow.
Mouth. He kissed it in.
I would
I'd
love
love
that.
it.
I'd love that. You just leaned there and went, what?
It's a goal.
The palpable relief around Tynecastle at that stage.
Yeah.
At that point, I was very much thinking, right, we've got ahead, sit in, let's take this 2-1 and start the getaway car.
Yeah. And what we did was another bit of Robbie Nielsen master classery.
Absolutely. Robbie Buchanan, who, as we said, had been rather ineffective on the wing, was sacrificed, and we brought in the secret weapon.
I have always been a fan of the guy, right? I genuinely have. But he came on against Celtic and he was busy, he made a few passes, he sort of went forward a wee bit. But he was exactly what we're crying out for.
Who is he? What's his name?
Scott fucking Robinson.
Scott fucking Robertson. Scott fucking Robertson. Robinson.
Jesus fucking Christ, you just named a Hibs player twice.
Scott Robinson. Scott Robinson
Yes.
waded onto that field, and you're absolutely right. Like I was saying in the first half, Prince Wabin looked very lost, being neither fish nor fowl, trying to decide whether he should sit back or go forward. He was not comfortable in his own game at all. Robinson came in, sat back, and allowed Wabin to go, I'm going over there towards that goal.
And allowed Payardo to go, see.
See,
I ran now.
see, I will be between your toe, and everything will be grande,
Hockey.
which is Spanish
It's
for
okay,
grand.
guys. I got this.
Yeah, Robinson absolutely changed the game for us, changed the shape,
I
changed
really
the
think
tempo.
it did. Yeah. I think it was
Absolutely.
a mixture between Robinson's play and just Nielsen finding a body that he could put in there, to be honest with you. It could have been... It not could have been anyone because he was the midfielder on the bench, but just the fact that he noticed that having maybe 5 men in the midfield would definitely help us, and it absolutely did, because we got a stranglehold on the game from there on in, and they never really threatened us after Robinson came on. To be honest with you, he was a bit of a game changer.
And one of the most clear and obvious ways that he changed the game was a pass that he laid on for Mr. Prince Boabin.
Ah, that was beautiful, wasn't it? It was superb. From the midfield to the attack, Boabin just took the touches perfectly, skipped past his man. He did him. He absolutely did him.
He princed him.
He princed him.
That boy was did.
Yep.
He was dead. He was done. He was dude.
He was doodled.
he was
That
good.
dude did that. Yeah.
He left him in a pile of doo-doo, and then he sauntered past and he slammed the ball into the bottom corner, thus redeeming himself and Heart of Midlothian and all of us for all time. Boabin scored for our sins.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Prince of Princes.
He sure did.
But what a lovely goal, what a lovely move. It's
Yeah.
actually, in its own way, kind of on a par with James Keating's goal, just for sheer loveliness.
Yeah. It was a very nicely weighted pass from Robinson. Robinson's got his critics, and I understand his critics.
Really?
I understand that what they see. No, I don't like them. I don't like his critics. I always like Robinson. I don't know why I'm trying to stick up for them.
Because he's a good player.
Yeah, Robinson. No, I don't know why I'm trying to stick up for his critics.
All right.
Yeah, I do not understand their point. I don't get it at all.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is one of their points is Robinson never passes forward. He always looks back or sideways. And then he goes and lays one on a plate for Prince.
I mean, it was
with
only
a very nicely weighted forward pass.
It was only an inch perfect pass over about 15 or 20 yards or something.
Yeah,
like that.
that's all.
Yep.
But no, it was a very nice pass, and Prince, not completely reminiscent of his goal at Palmerston, but he sort of held off a couple of players and then hit an inch perfect finish. So there's comparisons to be drawn, certainly, but it wasn't the individual class that he showed at Palmerston. It was more to do with the craftiness of the ball through and then how he used it from there. It was a very good goal. Very good goal.
Very, very good goal.
Very good goal.
And that was the wind out of Queen of the South Sails, I think.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, that's not fair to them. They still hurried and harried. Russell, again, was still quite effective down the left.
Yeah.
And then we went and scored another goal, despite our opponents being quite good.
Shit, yeah, we did. It was actually from Ian Russell on the left. He put a ball into the middle that was headed out by again, needs more plaudits, Ali Mojturk, who's just been so good for so many weeks now. It can't go unnoticed. But yeah, he knocked it out, and Robinson and Patterson kind of, tackled each other until it broke to Patterson. Fantastic sort of, not defence splitting because there wasn't really a defence there, but inch perfect weighted pass to Billy King on the break. King dilly-dallied, it looked like a pass was on to Payardo, decided against it and played a cheeky little back heel to Adam Eckersley, who did what?
Smashed it.
He smashed it.
Smashed it.
Smashed it to the goals.
Confirmed. Yeah, I was sitting there screaming at Billy to lay it back to Payardo, who was free and easy in the
Keating was
D.
on the far side of the goal as well.
Yeah.
So he had two options in front of him, but then he got a little bit clever.
Yeah.
And
or he ran out of options.
Yeah, he ran out of options and like tried to pass it forward and completely fucked it up and ended up passing it backwards. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We've all done it. We've all done it at fives. It happens.
Yep, but it ended up in Adam Eckersley's path, and he Eckersley's it into the Eckers bag, and
it was a great finish because I'd actually the guy who sits next to me, whose name I don't know, we were discussing throughout the match. So we both Eckersley fans, but both of us were saying he doesn't really offer the attacking prowess that Kevin McHattie does. McHattie can drive forward. He's good with the ball at his feet and all that kind of stuff. And literally 5 minutes later, Adam Eckersley is bursting a fucking gut to get up and help Billy King, and then thronk one into the top corner. So yeah, maybe he has got that part to his game.
Maybe
he's adapting it as the weeks go on,
or maybe he's just waiting for that perfect back heel.
That's what it is.
But in the end, that was more or less the match. There's not a lot else to really comment on.
The Flan Man came on.
The Flan Man.
Flanagan.
Wham Bam Flam Dan.
Yep.
Nathan Flanagan.
He came on.
That's how you pronounce that. Nathan Flanagan.
It is, that's how they pronounce it in Castle Milk, where he's from. Nathan Flanagan.
Flanagan. And he, well...
Yeah, he touched the ball.
Yep, that's what he did.
Yep, he dribbled and touched.
And Jordan McGee came on. We pushed Callum Patterson forward to...
Jordan McGee's
right
here.
mid.
What the fuck has he done? What the fuck has he done?
I don't know, you tell me, Robert.
He's done something terrible. I don't even know what it is, but he's completely shaven the back and sides, and he's kept it really long and swept it right back on top like a sort of awful Mohican. And what the fuck have you done?
Well, does he look less like Gary Locke now?
I think that's why he's done it. He's just trying to get rid of the Gary Locke comparisons, but he's kind of letting the side down. You know, again, I can see why he didn't get a start, to be honest.
So between this and Mackay's beard, this has been a dreadful hirsute week for Heart of Midlothian. Though actually, that said, James Keating's beard was quite nice.
It was, but it was a pretty bad week for the defenders. The backup defenders' hair escapades just was not on point today. They've let Heart of Midlothian down,
well,
frankly.
It's difficult
Am I
to
right
draw
in
on
saying that Dale Carrick's got his beard back?
Dale does have his beard back.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
I expect him to score a hat-trick next week.
Completely.
Yep. Well, it's hard to draw negatives from today's performance, but you know, I'm glad we found some there.
Yep.
Yeah, again, like, just really weird. This is one of the better teams that we played in this division, and twice we thumped them by 3 goals.
Yeah, there was
That's
never.
what we do.
There was
our MO.
To be fair, there was never 3 goals between the teams today.
No.
I think you know, once we put 5 in the midfield, they didn't really react to that. James Filler had nothing to give in response, and that's why, you know, we had the extra legs in the midfield, and that's why we came out on top. Was the inclusion of Scott Robinson kind of changed the game for us today.
Might I pick a nit?
Go for it.
I have a theory. I have a theory about a power imbalance
Theorise me.
in our forward line.
Yeah.
Quite often today, both Billy King and Jamie Walker, and to a lesser extent James Keatings, were guilty of shooting when they could have passed.
Good theoretics.
Right. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. We weren't so guilty of this in the early part of the season. My theory about this is, when Osman Sow was there, it was clear he's our best striker, and it's clear that in any given situation, the pass to Osman Sow is the best option.
Mm-hmm.
Today, all 3 of those guys, Keatings, King and Walker, have a legitimate claim on being the best option at any one time. So all 3 of them are thinking, well, I might as well shoot. And it's creating problems where there was quite often, like the Walker chance we discussed earlier, where he might have laid it back rather than trying to shoot. There was one particularly egregious Billy King example where I've always played to him just in front of the box, but it was too heavy, the pass. So he was running away from goal to get on it. And instead of either laying it off to an overlapping player on the wing or trying to cut it back in, he decided to hit it as soon as he arrived at the ball.
That actually, just to stop you momentarily, that gave me one of the funniest moments of the game today when a guy behind us, as it was running across King, was like, shoot! And he shot, and he's like, you should have taken a fucking touch! After he'd blazed it wildly over the bar.
Oh, well, we had a guy in front of us telling Hearts to hit it long! And then Alexander hit it long and it went out of the park. He went, who's that to?
It's too long.
So it's almost like football fans don't know what the fuck they want.
Yep.
So that's my theory, that without Osman Sow, players getting a little bit greedy up front. What do you think?
Well, what I don't entirely disagree, but what I like is that we've had Osman Sow out the team for 3 or 4 weeks now and we haven't lost. Other than to Celtic, obviously, but that was a dead rubber. Who cares? That didn't even happen.
Well, that was our game, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed Hearts scoring goals. I thoroughly enjoyed having a good opponent that tried to play football against us. The contrast to the Rangers game could not have been more severe.
I hope that Queen of the South can join Falkirk and Rangers in the playoffs because we know what happened at the Falkirk. We know what happened at the Falkirk Stadium today.
Oh,
that'd be a 91 minute winner
91.
1-9. That's an interesting combination of numbers.
The 91th minute.
19 points.
Years.
19 points between Heart of Midlothian and Hibernian Football Club, who are fucking up their spell in the second division.
I'm no mathematician, but that's basically 20 points.
It's difficult to
I'm
argue
no
with that.
mathematician either, but you can round it up or you can round it down. It's still 20 points.
That's true. Yeah, so Hibs, great. Well done, you almost drew.
Oh, well. And, Rangers managed to get a commanding 1-0 victory at home to Cowdenbeath.
Who gives a lusty fuck? Hibs lost.
We
How are
haven't even
Cowdenbeath
touched
doing
it.
in the league, by the way? So we've got them next week.
Cowdenbeath have lifted themselves from second bottom to remaining second bottom.
All right.
Yep.
So they're not very good.
No, they're not. They're only worse than Livingston because of that points deduction, I believe.
Yeah,
They're only better.
Bizarre administrative anomaly.
Yeah.
The points were only resting in Livingston's account.
Listeners, revel in the fact that we're actually talking about the rest of the league, because this never happens.
I wanted to bring it up just because I wanted to talk about how funny Rangers' Petrofac Cup result was in the league.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it.
I fucking did. It was great.
I believe there were 17 minutes between all three of Alloa's goals.
That's quite correct, yeah. They were 2-0 up at 9 o'clock, and then at 17 minutes past 9 they were 3-2 down.
And at this stage, Alistair McCoyce is still the manager of Rangers Football Club because they cannot afford to get rid of him.
They can. It would cost them between £800,000 and £900,000.
1.4 million was the figure I saw quoted in the paper
Shit
the other
off.
day for the remainder of his
What I heard,
contract.
it was definitely over £1 million.
£1.4 million.
Let's see if Mike Ashley will bankroll that one, you bunch of fucking crooks.
Ooh, well, let's just slather ourselves with that and prepare ourselves for what's coming next. For what's coming next is your emails and songs. Songs about the man who changed the game. Songs about...
Well, there's been a bit of discussion about it, but the consensus is Scott Robinson.
Scott Robinson, the game changer himself.
Okay, so we're moving on. First of all, before we get to songs, we did get a remarkable email this week, possibly the greatest email in history, from a Mr. Mark Hamilton.
Yes.
It was a two-stage email. First of all, he sent us an incredible version of We're Jammin' by Bob Marley that he recorded 12 years ago after the Graham Weir derby called We're Jambos. It's remarkable stuff, I'm sure you'll agree, as you can hear it right now.
We're Jambos, and we're jamming in the name of the Lord. We're Jambos.
Well, that transported me to places.
Incredible.
A wonderful effort. Not only did he anticipate our best gimmick by over a clear decade, he also did it way, way better than we did. So,
Yes.
if that was the sole content of Mark Hamilton's email, that would be fantastic. But he also dropped a bomb in the second half by revealing that he's Miguel Pallardo's English teacher.
Wow.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
That's quite incredible.
He did say that
Just to link my family into this, my cousin taught Gilles Rousset and his kids English.
Fantastic!
There
Wow.
we go. Christ.
Jeez, incredible! The tentacles were reaching out. Mark did say that he has tried to play our Pallardo songs from the Falkirk episodes, but was unfortunately unable to because
Technical
computer
things.
issues. But
Yeah.
he promised that he would try. So if you're listening, Miguel, gracias por todo su trabajo y Forza Hearts para el futuro.
Vámonos.
España.
Es muy bien.
Vámonos, Miguel.
Sí, exacto. Y por primero, por sus
Enough.
canciones. Sorry, yeah, you're right. Best to do this in English.
Yep.
To begin with, for our songs this week, that we are singing about the wonderful, the man who has hearts pumping through his heart.
Pumping.
Yeah. Nice.
Scott Robinson, the man that exemplifies our club in all its ways. He is Mr. Hearts. Do you hear us? He's Mr. Hearts.
Senor Hearts.
Fridgey, would you begin?
Alright. 15,000 boring bastards. Yo ho ho, what a pass from Pum. Pass it forward, Prince will do the rest. Yo ho ho, what a pass from Pum.
What a segue as well. I didn't know that was your first line, but I'm glad I set you up for it. I want to see Callum Patterson singing that song. Yarr! What a pass! Yarr! Beat that, Robert Borthwick.
I absolutely won't. Pom pom pom, I like it when you play oh.
Play-o.
I said pom pom pom, I like it when you play oh.
Play-o.
Pom 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 pom.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling it. I'm really... Keep doing it. Come on. Having it, Scott. Scotty Robinson, well he can't score a goal, Robinson, but he'll leave your calf sore. Scotty, ooh, Scotty, Scotty Robinson, Scotty, ooh, Scotty Robinson.
Nice, we got there.
That was worth the wait.
Yeah.
You didn't hear it, listeners, but that took a lot of effort. That was Rob-esque levels of effort.
Yeah.
So,
it was. Who wins?
I've not won.
Well, we know it's not Nickel. So Nickel, you can have the deciding shout then.
Well, it's definitely Fridgey.
It's definitely Fridgey.
It's definitely Fridgey.
Up top.
We salute you and
Thank
your
you.
piratical ways.
That was the worst high five I've ever seen there. Radio.
I'm struggling. I've been places, I've done things. That brings us to an end. We'll be back next week for some Cowdenbeathian tales.
Yes.
Stock car racing.
I'm aiming more for the game of football, but if stock car racing happens, then you're going to hear a lot about stock car racing on this football podcast.
I still think it would make it a much more interesting spectacle if they did the stock car racing while the football game was on. I think that's something that
Can
should
we
be...
have
Do you think that's why that Cowdenbeath winger's face is the way it is?
Dean Brett.
Yeah, do you think he was just running one day and he headbutted a car?
The car headbutted him, I think.
Yeah.
Who's chasing a loose ball. Throwing.
You know, you know what?
Tragedy, really. His family. His family are gorgeous, by the way.
I think despite this incredible tangent, there's just a small chance that you might want to get in touch with us during the next week. And how would they do that, Robert Borthwick?
You can catch us on email at wehavenocares@gmail.com. We also have our Twitter page up and running fully.
I want Fridgey to tell us what that Twitter handle is.
Is it at We Have No Cares?
It certainly
It
is.
absolutely is.
I didn't even know that. That was a guess.
What a professional.
Yep.
We have individual Twitter handles as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you that mine's at Nickel Hay, and Robert will tell you.
Mine's is at RF Borthwick.
But we know that what you really want to hear is...
I'm at Fridgey Town.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Talk to Fridgey because he's fucking marvellous and a
It's
handsome
Christmas
man.
in Fridgey Town. Merry Christmas to you all.
Steve Crawford!
Steve Crawford.
Steve Crawford.
Hey, baby.
Amaruso, that's a run, it's a done! Stuck on it down for Hearts! It's a blunder by Amaruso! And a done!